Welcome back everyone to Ground Zero Reptiles. On my previous video, the ball python feeding guide, I discussed some reasons why your ball python won't eat. And today, this video, I'm going to go into greater detail why.
Hit that subscribe button and the bell icon too. Welcome to Ground Zero Reptiles.
Lately, I've been noticing in Facebook pages and forums a lot of new ball pythons asking that same question of why my ball python won't eat. And now I'm going to discuss some of the reasons why. First topic we're going to discuss is shedding. Now, ball pythons shed their entire lives. Now, they shed more frequently when they're younger because they're growing faster. Now, don't be surprised that your ball python won't eat while going into shed. First, you're going to notice them going into blue, which means they get a milky blue color in their eye and their overall appearance on their body is dull. Now, that lasts about a couple days, and afterwards they'll clear up. Now, a couple days to about a week after, you'll notice their first shed. And like I said, don't worry that your ball python doesn't eat during this time. It is completely natural. Next subject we're going to be talking about is whether you're feeding your ball pythons in conditions that are too cold or too hot. Before you feed your ball python, you have to make sure their temperatures are ideal. This will help out with more of a successful feeding response. There are many bits of information out there from professionals and owners stating what temperature ranges that you should be on. Now, from my trial and error, I've noticed temperatures between 82 degrees and 92 degrees is ideal for my ball pythons. It makes them have a more successful feeding response. Whether you choose to do that or not is up to you, but once again, you can learn from your trial and errors as well, and you might figure out a better temperature solution for your reptiles in your area. The next thing I'm going to talk about is stress. As I talked about in my previous video, you need to create hides for your ball python. In their natural environment, they like to hide in termite mounds, which are very constricting, which makes them feel safe. Therefore, you will have a better feeding response. If not, and they feel way in the open, they will get overstressed and they will not eat. And another thing we need to learn as new ball python owners, when we first get our ball python, we have to put them in their habitat and leave them alone for a week. Let them de-stress and get comfortable. Once they feel comfortable, then we can start handling them. If not, you will stress them out. So I say leave them alone for a week, then you can feed them, and you'll most likely have a better feeding response. The next topic I want to talk about is sickness. Now, if your ball python out of the blue stops eating, it could be sick. And you want to evaluate your ball python. You want to look for bubbling coming out of the nose or foaming around the mouth. You may want to check to see if it's wheezing or has open mouth breathing. Now, if your ball python exhibits any of those traits, you'd want to take it to the vet to get it properly checked out. Now, if it doesn't, it can be of the following things: of being stressed, it can be going through a shed cycle, or the next topic we're going to be talking about. So that next subject we're going to be talking about is seasonal fasting. Now, with ball pythons, they go through seasonal changes. As the ball python is younger and a baby and a juvenile, it will eat year round. But when a male gets about 2 to 3 years old, or a female about 3 years old, they will go into a seasonal fasting. Whether we keep the temperatures in our household consistent, they can still detect that. They can detect the longer days or even the temperature drops that are in our house that we personally don't realize. So when that happens, a lot of people get scared. They're used to their ball python eating regularly and then suddenly having this change. And you'll see most of that happen in Facebook posts and forums asking why. And one of the main concerns that we will ask is your husbandry. How's that set up? But also, how old is your snake? So if your snake is 3 years older or older, it reaches sexual maturity. Therefore, it goes into fasting for its seasonal mating. Alright, I'm going to give you a checklist that you may want to use if your ball python isn't eating. First off, you may want to check to see if it's hot or cold in its environment. Next, check to see if he's ill or she's ill. Next, make sure there's a hide on both the cool end and the hot end. Next, don't handle your snake as much. You handling it too much will cause that stress. And especially if he or she is new to his environment, that's already stressful enough. Now, when you feed them, you may feed them a couple days later, but I recommend just feeding them the next cycle that's coming around, because that will just keep them on a repetition, the consistency. They like consistency. Now, make sure you feed them after sunset. They are, after all, a nocturnal animal. Therefore, they're used to eating at night. Now, if they don't eat, don't panic. It's just normal. They will fast. Once they're a mature age, they will fast. And some will go months without eating. Maybe from breeding season, beginning of breeding season of October till January, February, March. Whenever you stop, they will stop during those times. So don't worry. Now, if you have a prey, whether it's frozen thawed or pre-kill, and it's not striking at it, you may want to wiggle it in front of it a bit. It may entice it, may make it look like it's running away or scurrying around away, and it may get its attention. Now, if that doesn't work and you've been offering frozen thawed, maybe you should try pre-kill or live. Those two might actually make it more enticing for your ball python. Now, if they don't take it, just leave it in the cage overnight. Not live prey. You don't want to leave them overnight. But if it's pre-kill or frozen thawed, you may leave it overnight. Now, some say you may use a gerbil, but I don't recommend it. If you hear that, I don't recommend using a gerbil as another live prey, because if they like that one, because ball pythons are very picky, they like it, they will stick to that, and now you have to buy gerbils. Alrighty folks, I really hope this helps you out for both new ball python owners and even more experienced ball python owners. Don't forget, we are never too much of an expert to learn new things, and we're never too old to learn new things. We should always be open to information and implement good information to make sure our ball pythons thrive. If we're not providing them the best care, we are doing something wrong, and therefore we should fix it. I hope everyone takes care of yourself, takes care of their reptiles, and takes care of their loved ones. You have a great day. And I almost forgot. Why don't you check out our new Patreon account and the link below, and come support the Ground Zero Reptiles family.